All right, Eliot, Jaelan Phillips left yesterday. So did Nakobe, so did Reed, and so did Dotson, who no one really cares about. But what's your reaction on the Jaelan? I heard you say yesterday this was unexpected to lose Jaelan Phillips. Can you do a little deeper dive on this? Do you think Howie was surprised at how big the money got?
Definitely. I think going into the offseason, they obviously have a plan of what they think is going to happen, what they plan on doing. And I think if, you would have told them at the end of day one they were going to lose Nakobe, they were going to lose Reed Blankenship and Jahan Dotson, they would have said correct. Now, Reed probably didn't get as much money as they thought. I think they kind of expected maybe double digits for him. He came in under that. But I think they expected to lose him. So they have a plan in place to replace him, a plan in place to replace Nakobe. The difference with Jaelan Phillips is I think they expected to re-sign him. So that actually alters the plan and changes what they have to do. And he did get a lot of money, no question about it. $30 million, I think, is more than anybody thought he would get. And credit to him, right? He hit free agency at the right time. But he's a big loss. And they themselves are willing to pay him big money. Not $30 million, obviously, but big money. So now they have to pivot and find someone at a position where they're already thin.
Eliot, without revealing sources, would never, of course, ask you to do that. Can you give us more context on what gave you the impression that they expected to keep Jaelan Phillips?
So the impression I got was they were willing to pay him a lot of money, and they were. Like they were over $20 million, right? It's not like they were trying to get him on a low price and someone blew him away. Like they were willing to pay him really good money. And I always, I only spent half the year with Jaelan Phillips, but saw him in the locker room quite a bit, talked to him. Like it seemed like he really liked it here in Philadelphia. So I knew that, they had budgeted the money for him. I knew he wanted to be back. And it seemed like it was going to happen. But when a team comes in and offers you $30 million, he's someone that's had injury concerns in his career. It's a prime chance to cash in a major way. I mean, I don't blame him for taking the money at all. I just think when an unexpected offer comes in like that, that's, somewhat considerably above what the Eagles wanted to pay, that things changed.
Eliot, on Nakobe and Blankenship, because I haven't heard not one caller has called and said they should have given Jaelan Phillips $120. I'm not saying it. On Nakobe and Blankenship, Nakobe 3 years, $36 million, Blankenship 3 years, $24. Do you think Howie should have matched either of them?
Definitely not Nakobe. I think they're set at linebacker. We focus so much on Jihad, and he is very good, I think, and obviously he'll be the starter next to Bond. But I think Trotter Jr. and Smile Mondon Jr. can be starting linebackers as well. So, I think they are set at linebacker. I would have considered matching Jaelan Phillips before I would have matched the other two. I know it's a lot of money, but he was arguably like a top 10-ish edge in the NFL last year. I think he's just about to turn 27, and they are so thin at that position. Like they literally only have two guys right now that they're going to play next year. So they need to find 2 to 3 guys and then plus, right, for training camp. So I would have considered matching Jaelan Phillips. Obviously you spend, but you get what you spend for, and he's a good player. And then Reed didn't get as much as people thought, but they must have a plan there because that's not a ton of money to let him walk away.
Yeah, that's the question. The Eagles' plan at safety, it feels like they might be thinking outside the box with this one, like moving positions potentially. I don't know. Do you know the plans? And Epps, remember, Epps was on this team, performed well on this team, is a free agent. Will they pay him instead of Reed?
So I think they will sign somebody, and then they want Makuba to start. Makuba, they felt last year when he played well enough that they feel okay about him going into this year. I would disagree with that. I don't think he played that well. Now, he was a rookie, so there's going to be learning curves there, but he'll be one of the starters. And then outside of that, you're right, Marcus Epps has the potential to come back. I don't know if you want to go into the year with Marcus Epps as a starter. I thought he played fine last year, but next to Makuba, right, you probably want someone better. Sidney Brown, I don't think is someone they're ever going to put on the field on purpose on defense. Like they're not going to want him out there. A name I would keep an eye on is Jaquan Brisker. He went to Penn State, only 4 years in the league so far, has a knack for turnovers, has forced 8 in the 4 years that he's played. So maybe, he's had injury concerns. Maybe you get him at a cheaper rate. But no, I think they'll make moves at safety. I don't think they're going to go with just what's on the roster now for sure.
So the Jaelan Phillips contract, man, 4 years, $120 million. D lineman. We know that we re-signed Jordan Davis to a massive deal. D lineman. We have Jalen Carter, who might be one of the best D linemen we've ever seen. Does this give any indication of what he might be expecting, or does this is that too far in the future? Mm-hmm. What is your expectation for when they're going to re-up the big guy?
I think it'll happen this offseason. I think it could happen, any day. Like, it's something that they
any
will
day.
Want to get.
Like,
yeah, they
in the here and now, even.
Yeah,
wow.
They want to re-sign Jalen Carter. When they drafted him, I think it was 10th overall, if I remember correctly, like, they knew if he played to his potential, he would get a massive contract. I think he has probably played to his potential. I mean, he had 2024 was unbelievable. 23 and 25 were probably a little more, closer to average / mediocre. So I think he has hit his potential to an extent. But yeah, they will absolutely pay him, it's a matter of when, not if. They will give Jalen Carter. And look, after all the money they gave Jordan Davis, I think they overpaid Jordan Davis. So if I'm Jalen Carter and I'm sitting there and I'm looking what Jordan Davis got, I think I probably deserve a substantial amount more than that. I would guess his camp probably wants him to be the highest paid defensive lineman in the NFL. So it's a complicated deal, but I think the Eagles know it's going to be expensive, and they were ready to pay.
Yeah, he's going to get a ton.
He sure will. What about the A.J. Brown, the news and expectations? We sort of got a tidbit that Howie might be lessening his expectations on a return. What do you make of that?
Yeah, so I think the most important piece of information that came out about the A.J. Brown thing the last few days was from Mike Garafolo of NFL Network saying that Howie was trying to get creative on how to make this deal happen, right? Like, maybe do half now, half after June 1st. And, the semantics of that, who knows how it would work. But what I think is important about it is they have portrayed this thing of, no, we don't want to trade A.J., but teams are calling us, right? If you want to call us, maybe we'll consider it. If you don't want to sell something, I don't know why you're getting creative to trying to make the deal happen, right? So
no question.
So if Howie is trying to make this deal happen, I think that's an indication they want to trade AJ. Like they know that this is the time to cash in. And so when Alec Pierce signed with the Colts yesterday, I know everyone viewed that as, well, now they have way more leverage because the Patriots need them. I don't know. The teams that want AJ are dwindling away. And sooner or later, it might come to the point where the Patriots are sitting there and going, all right, here's our offer. And the Eagles have to decide if they're actually willing to bring AJ back.
I got to tell you, Elliot, I agree with you. And I said last week when the Bills traded the second rounder for that receiver, I said, this is bad news for the Eagles. Some people saw, this is great. That guy, a second rounder, well, AJ definitely gets you a first rounder plus. And I'm like, well, maybe, but a viable team just went off the board. I thought that was bad. All right, Elliot, go ahead.
I'll just say quickly, the other thing is, the market is kind of speaking on AJ, right? If Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase went on the market today, they would be traded before the end of the day for at least a first-round pick, if not more, right? I don't think they would
way more.
Right, exactly. I don't think they would have trouble extracting a first-round pick for a team. It sounds like the Eagles are having real trouble getting some version of a first-round pick for A.J. Brown. So I think A.J. is a good player, but I also think the market is speaking a little bit as to how the rest of the league views him.
All right, so let's get to Goedert, Elliot. Two-part question. The first is, I'm curious, with more money available than how we thought as of yesterday morning, based on your sense that he wanted to give Jaelan Phillips 80 or 90 or 100 million and it just got too high, whatever that number would have been. The question is this: does yesterday make it more likely Goedert is back? But here's the heart of the question I have for you. Do you think the Eagles want Goedert back?
So I definitely think there's mutual interest between the two sides in reuniting and re-signing. But I think the Eagles want to look at other options, right? David Njoku is a guy that I know they have interest in. He didn't sign yesterday. There really wasn't actually a ton of movement in the tight end market yesterday. There were a few deals that were probably a little more expensive than I thought, but you didn't see the top guys go off the board. So I think Goedert seems to be in that second wave of tight ends, waiting to see what happens. So the Eagles are probably still exploring other options. If those things don't happen, I think they would gladly circle back to Goedert. I think there's even a world where they sign 2 tight ends that, are noteworthy names, right? But
would that be as big as Njoku, Eliot? Would that be as big as Goedert and David Njoku if we sign 2?
Yeah, so I think it depends on what they end up giving Njoku if that does happen. If you're looking at $10 million a year, maybe not. But if the price is falling, if Goddard's price is falling, and I mean, part of it too is, Goedert would have to decide then, does he want to stay in Philadelphia, a place he loves, right? Like his family is here. He's been here his whole career, but maybe not be as involved as he used to be, or go to another team where they can tell him he would be tight end 1. So I would still guess that Goedert is not going to be back. But I don't view this as he knows he's gone. The Eagles have moved on. Like, I think there's still communication.
Eliot, final thing. Just hop into the Phillies for a moment. It ties into the Eagles. I have a theory that this news of the Luzardo salary contract came out yesterday when it came out, because the Phils, even though they didn't state it, the Phils are like, oh, let's get this out now because, people are frustrated with the Eagles losing good players. We have disagreement here whether that was intentional or not. What do your reporter instincts tell you? Was that purposeful? And I think it was around 6 o'clock last night or something. Like, I think it was on purpose. Agree or disagree?
So if it was, I think it was poor planning because I think it got
Yes.
buried a little bit. I think they would have been better suited waiting until nothing was going on with the Eagles.
See, I disagree. I know what you're saying.
Well, what did you guys lead with today?
No,
that was exactly my point, Eliot.
Yeah, 99% is about the Eagles today, but my point is it's it's burrow into the psyche of Phillies fans to recognize there's a very quality baseball team here. They got 3 of their pitchers locked up for a long time. And, I'm counting Painter as one of them, but he's not a top 3, but he's going to be here a long time. Obviously, you got the top 3 guys with Wheeler and Sanchez and Luzardo, but I just think it was don't forget about us.
Well, let me ask you that.
People crap on us for losing guys, but we just signed a guy for $135 million on a day when the Eagles are losing all sorts of people, and I think it was purposeful to put it out then, and I think that was smart.
Would you have rather they paid Luzardo the money they did now, or taken the cash they had earmarked for this year and just finished the Bichette deal? Like, would you rather have them wait to pay Luzardo a year or pay Bichette?
I'm a little confused. I'd rather have Luzardo. He's just a better.
I'm saying it's one pot of money, and they didn't have to pay Luzardo this offseason, right? They could have waited.
Yeah, but you know what? Next year you could lose him, and now you won't.
You could, or you could just pay him next year, right? Like that's an option too.
Yeah, but you might be paying him $180.
Maybe, but now you don't. But now you've just essentially another move and running it back. Like you have him on a good deal, but the Phillies didn't get better because of this contract, right? Like they're
going to be better longer. People
but not next year.
But Eliot, people are acting like the Phillies window is about to close. What I've been trying to tell people for a couple of years, this window's pretty freaking wide open.
For how long, Joe?
At least 3 years.
I agree with you. It's not about.
I got Christopher Sanchez and Luzardo.
I'm not talking about the pitching.
I am.
The pitching hasn't been the problem, Joe.
I am aware of that, but
it's the batters, and they're getting older every year. And you want to celebrate the fact that they put out a notice about the pitcher in the middle of free agency, like it was some smart decision that Don Brown's go, well, we got in on the Eagles here. 2
different issues. Whether it was wise or not, I think it was. Rhea doesn't. That's fine. My point also, though, is I just think this makes it easier for the Phillies to make the playoffs in 2028, and I'm happy about that. Maybe other people aren't. I am.
So I would ask this. How many other teams that you view as a legit World Series contender, because that's clearly how you view the Phillies, right?
There's about 10 of them.
But of those 10, how many do you think have not won a playoff series the past 2 years?
Oh, I don't know.
I would guess not many, right? So I get your point, but ultimately you're putting way too much stock in the regular season. It's actually ironic as someone that's been pretty out on the Sixers that you value the regular season so much for the Phillies.
Well, for what it's worth, the Dodgers lost, I think, in their first playoff series 3 years in a row until the last 2.
All right, but then they've won playoff series the last 2 years. The Phillies have not. That's my point. Phillies, the core you believe in, has done nothing the past 2 years in the postseason.
Well, part of my point is that they're extending the core here, and I'm happy about that. Luzardo,
agree to disagree.
Okay, so you would not have given Luzardo money?
I would have used the money to improve the lineup, yes, and I would have waited a year. Luzardo had one good year. See him do
wait
it again.
A year is a bad strategy. Bad strategy. Wait a year on Luzardo.
So is running back the same lineup.
Well, that's a different topic. All right, Eliot, stay away. Hey, tomorrow, McGurk's Eliot will be on the free agency desk. We look forward to that. Eliot, thanks, pal.
Yep, sounds good.
Thanks,
buddy. Appreciate it.